Hi listeners, Quinn here, putting this out front to let you know about the official Failure to Launch merch store. If you've ever wanted to wear or display space history, you can find clothes and posters at failuretolaunch.bigcartel.com. We've got all kinds of wonderful art like the Apollo Engineering Ronin, Jack Parsons Tarot card, and the First Orbital War 1988. If any of that sounds good to you, you can find a link below in the description. Thank you, and here's the show.
We had a pretty large bang associated with the caution and warning now. Okay, as we have an apparent serious oxygen leak.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Houston, we've had a problem. He's in a roll and he can't stop it. Performing an evasive maneuver. Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here. We need to do a little more all-weather testing.
Welcome to space.
Hello, listener, and welcome to Failure to Launch, the movie history podcast where we take you through every sci-fi flop that made modern filming possible. I don't actually know if I believe that. It's just a spin on the tagline, sue me. We are your hosts. Quinn, he, him.
Chris, he, him.
And a roasted Chris, he, him.
Oh no. And today we are taking a look at 2007's Sunshine, a weird, like a financial flop, a sci-fi, I don't want to say classic, but just a really weird movie. Really weird in terms of like how the quality holds up over time and even over the runtime. Weird in the sense that they managed to get the cast that they did, and weird in the sense of what it did to Chris, apparently.
I think we both had shower thoughts from this.
A lot of people, it turns out, have had epiphanies from this movie. Us, the reviewers, but also some of the actors in it, which we will get to. This movie convinced some of the actors in it that God is not real.
Yeah, because the main villain is Searle, brackets evil.
So guys, how are we doing this fine Saturday?
As I
it's
mentioned
the morning,
before.
so the obligatory answer is that you guys just woke up. I get that.
Oh no, I woke up at 6 and was actually kind of productive. But
Whoa.
no, after watching this, I'm happy that I did because I won't have to watch it again.
I like this movie.
A box has been ticked.
I feel like that's being unfair to the movie.
Yeah, I will watch this movie up to the hour 20 mark as many times as possible.
They could have clawed some points back if they just let us see the bad guy.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah, which we will get to.
I think that they wanted to not do that because it was in Mark Strong's contract.
But it's okay.
I think that he didn't want to immediately be known and associated with this film, and so they had to blur him.
And yet, that's one of the biggest problems I had with Mark Strong in this movie, is that I have no clue if Mark Strong is in this movie. We see him in a couple of cutscenes. The credits seem firmly of the belief that he is, but the person under all of that makeup and behind all of that out-of-focus lens flare could be anyone. We don't know.
The toasted marshmallow.
But yeah, we are talking about Alex Garland and Danny Boyle's 2007 movie, and for that, Alex Garland, the writer, Danny Boyle, the director. The two have worked together on a whole bunch of films. And they also bring back a lot of actors that they know and had worked with for this one, especially Cillian Murphy. It was a weird one. It was requested to us. It was pitched to us.
It was requested to us. It was requested to us by Reed's paper, Quinn.
One
it's
of
your
the
favorite
fans from
movie.
the Discord.
It's your favoriteest movie of all time. You've been saying this for the last 10
all
minutes.
the time. Yeah, I love any 2000s sci-fi movie about saving the world from an incoming disaster by either A, nuking it, or B, doing blue-collar work at it.
You just love the sci-slop.
But yeah, to circle back around, this was pitched to us by a fan as a mid-movie with an incredible soundtrack. And it was only after that, whenever I looked it up, that I realized, like, oh, I have heard this soundtrack fucking everywhere. I'm willing to bet you have too. If you have ever seen like a YouTube video or a game or anything like that with like a really dramatic moment, like a moment of character self-sacrifice, there's a fair chance you have heard the songs from this movie. So yeah, are we ready to get into it, guys?
Yeah, I thought we were already there.
Oh,
honestly,
all right.
This is like the third. This is like the third raid
start
wipe,
we've
Quinn.
had.
This is the third start that we've had. It's your fault. You keep wiping us.
You guys didn't clap.
I thought. Did you not hear my mental clap?
Quinn is definitely a black mage motherfucker who will not get out of his ley lines. You will wipe the raid.
You don't understand. I have to be standing right here.
I have to be standing right in my special spot to maximize DPS at the expense of getting hit by every AoE because I didn't plan properly. Heal me. Healers adjust.
Fantastic.
All right, so this is, again, a 2007 sci-fi movie by Danny Boyle and Alex Garland with a ridiculously stacked cast and a wonderful soundtrack. And it was also a financial failure and has somewhat questionable but generally positive reviews. There's a lot to talk about here. Whenever we get into the movie, we are introduced to kind of the premise. And the premise, very quickly, is the sun is dying. It is dimming, apparently rapidly. So much so that Earth, we later see Sydney, Australia, is like a winter wonderland now.
Shit's cold.
It is. It is very cold. And humanity has banded together in order to try and restart the sun. They have named this project the Icarus Project. God only knows why. Icarus I, a giant spacecraft, and to be clear, the Icarus Project is build a massive bomb with the mass equivalent of Earth's moon and fling it into the sun in the hopes of jump-starting the sun.
The entire premise of this movie scientifically is questionable.
Another fun thing is that the bomb is The Cube from 1997 Canadian horror flick, The Cube.
We should watch that at some point.
Maybe that's why you like this movie so much.
Yeah, because they fling the cube into the sun.
I think that you like this movie so much because there's something quintessentially Canadian about it.
Is there other than the cube?
It speaks to you at like a subconscious level. They got the cube in it.
I will say
it's like the one movie that Canada's ever made. Quinn.
I am like the pastiest motherfucker. I scorch like Pinbacker as soon as I go outside without a shirt.
Just 5 seconds.
I love how much allusion we've made to a guy who only gets named like
halfway through and doesn't actually appear clearly
65% of the movie through.
All I know,
Chris, we can't cold open by you spoiling that there is a human villain in this movie.
Oh no.
Oh fuck, watch out. The villain has a race.
But
wait, what if he's not really a human? He's just, being
Mark
ridden
Strong.
he's being ridden by the
Captain
ghost
Titus.
No, it's just Mark Strong being ridden by the ghost of God.
Okay, Horus Heresy deep cut. Vulcan survives re-entry into Ultramar, like burns to a fucking crisp. Mark Strong is a space marine. Mark Strong, like transitive property. Mark Strong can survive re-entry level
No,
heat.
he cannot. He is not a perpetual. You cannot draw conclusions because there's two giant men that were engineered by the Emperor of Mankind. You cannot infer that because one of them is
roasty toasty,
like, metaphysically different than like everyone else, that the other one would survive and re-entry in the same exact way. Like that's not.
Well, I'm trying to put explanations on the table. They may not be the best, but I'm trying, which is more than I can say for anyone else here.
When the mainframe goes down, the Geller fields go down, and
Fuck
everything
you.
goes bad.
I hate the mainframe.
Yeah, it also controls the Geller field.
Mainframe so much.
So let's get back to the plot as it's happening. Before we spin out.
Yeah, stop murdering me. Just get to the plot.
Are we just speedrunning Chris crashing
Chris
out?
right now is staring out the window, staring wide-eyed at the sun as it tells him to end this podcast.
My blinds are down and my blackout curtains are shut.
Nice.
I live in darkness as all creatures should.
You're going to go outside and just stare at the sun until your eyes rose.
Whenever we do a meetup, we will all cosplay as Vin Diesel. We will all audition for Riddick.
Riddick's stupid brother.
So yeah, getting back to the Icarus project, they're trying to restart the sun. 7 years ago, Icarus I was sent out, and it was lost. No one has heard from it. They didn't accomplish their mission because the sun is still dimming. Icarus II, the mission that we are going to be following along with, they are sent out in order to get the job done. And I know we've already mentioned this. I don't know why the fuck they'd call it Icarus I and Icarus II. I get it. It's poetic and whatever, but this is like kindergarten level poetry of the mission is gonna go wrong. Like I like call it Daedalus, call it Helios, call it Hermes. I don't know. Like there are other mythological comparisons of someone who got close to the sun.
Something that's not noted for, not doing what he set out to do.
Quinn, who's the one that's responsible for coming up with program names? Like who is ultimately going to be like the final say in
I actually do not know.
They should have just gone with a British Rainbow Code and let it be done with.
But some committee sat down and said, we're going to tell the rest of humanity that we're going to save them, and we're going to tell them to put all of their hopes in a project named Icarus.
I hate it so much.
And everyone was just like, yes, good, wonderful.
And Quinn, they can't name it something else because the animation budgeting, they put all this effort into making the model for Icarus already. So like we can't, well, no, it's not that it's the text layer. It's that if you wanted to have a different program, you'd have just a completely different ship, Like, it's got to be different, we can't have a second one, even if it's like largely the same and just slightly edited.
This one is called Bicarus.
But we already put the big Icarus on the front of it. Are you telling us we have to take it down?
One.
Yeah.
Someone worked really hard on that,
And you're just shitting on their work.
So yeah, we are introduced to the Icarus II, this new mission that is going out. They are apparently 16 months into their mission toward the sun. God only knows why it took them so long or why they had to do so many slingshots, because they apparently have infinite power and infinite fuel.
Yeah, they got all that fissile material on board.
Yeah, honestly, they've got nuclear thermal rockets. They have infinite Delta V. If you have a lot of fuel, it takes 3 weeks to get to the sun from Earth.
Just shave a little bit of fissile material off. Just go in there with a cheese grater.
Mace goes in while Kappa isn't looking, and then they find out at the end that the bomb would have worked, but it was like several kilograms less than expected.
We shaved too much mass off of the initiator. I'm sorry.
We're distracting from the next point because we get to meet the elusive man. This is absolutely where these scenes in Mass Effect were ripped off from. Like, neuron activation in my brain, we see this very nice room with a kind of seat in the middle, and in front of it, through these shades, is the sun. But it's so shaded down that you can see all of like the swirling, the blacks and the oranges, the relative like cool and hot areas. It is exactly Mass Effect Elusive Man's office.
You mean to tell me that you wouldn't do that?
I would.
You mean to tell me that isn't peak?
But that now has me thinking, is the Elusive Man also a pinbacker? Like, what if he wasn't infected by the Reapers? What if he was just
doing it for the love of the game?
What if he just got that way by tanning himself? He
baked himself until his eyes turned glowing blue.
Well, it's a blue star, so
Oh shit.
Yeah, exactly.
The star that you align with is what your eyes turn into.
So we pull in, we zoom into this room in this spacecraft. They have an observation deck in this spacecraft, and it exists so that you can go up there and look at the sun. That is the only use for this room. We also don't really know where it is on the spacecraft. But yeah, people go in there, they get contemplative, they look at the sun. And this guy, the guy we are following, Dr. Searle, he is the crew's psychological, officer. He monitors mental health and tries to, prevent fights between the crew, which still happens a lot.
Yeah, he's doing a shit job, but not only that, he's also not beating the allegations.
He is among the weirdest of the crew, because he has something of an addiction to coming up here and looking at the sun. When we're first introduced to him, he's staring at the sun and he asks the computer, the Icarus AI, hey, what percentage, how bright am I looking at it right now? And the computer tells him, you're looking at 2%, and it's already incredibly bright. And he immediately goes, show me 4%.
Crank it.
Up more.
I need to feel the sun's love.
The computer tells him that he can only get to 3.1% without scorching his eyes. So he's like, all right, yeah, that exact number, that I want to go right to the edge. And then he puts on sunglasses.
Can we also say, it's going to come up, but his skin actually looks normal here.
Yes, and throughout the movie, you will see Dr. Searle. We don't see him doing much more of the sun tanning, but he obviously is, because every single scene, he has like worse sunburns. By the end, he literally has these like inch-wide scabs all over his face.
He probably makes like crinkling sounds when he speaks.
Oh,
I know for a fact I could never be like him, because you get me on like the very first level of sunburn, and that level of pain will inconvenience me enough to stop.
But it's evidence of the sun's love.
That's true, but also like I'm uncomfortable, you know?
That's how they turn you off of sun worship.
So yeah, after Dr. Searle, who is played by Cliff Curtis, we are introduced to the rest of the crew. Cillian Murphy is our resident physicist, Kappa. Chris Evans is Mace, the ship's engineer. Michelle Yeoh is Corey, the botanist. Benedict Wong is Trey, the ship's navigator. Troy Garrity is Harvey, the communications guy. And then we've got Hiroyuki Sanada as the captain. Rose Byrne as Cassie the pilot. It is a very stacked cast, is what I'm trying to say. That, you know, a lot of these people were not as famous then as they were now, but especially Michelle Yeoh and Hiroyuki Sanada are like, at the time, 2007, they are already legends of like martial arts movies and things like that. A lot of the others are kind of on their way up. Benedict Wong, Chris Evans. Cillian Murphy had worked with the director and writer before on 28 Days Later. They were some relative unknowns at the time, or at least up-and-comers, and now they are huge. And looking into it, a lot of it also comes from this movie, even if it wasn't financially successful. So we are introduced to the crew. They're all kind of going about their thing. They're having a meal together. Trey, the navigator, is cooking for them. And the entire time, Dr. Searle, everyone's like kind of making fun of him for being a vitamin D addict. And he's actively telling them how good it is. And I know it's not what he's saying, but I kept coming back to thinking of like that Tucker Carlson special where he interviewed those guys who do like ball tanning.
Putting your
who spend all day like scorching their balls and assholes like under the sun, under the tanning light, because it's healthy for them.
He's like laying on his back, legs open, just letting the sun blast his ass?
I'm just, you know, I understand that he thinks it's healthy and whatnot, but I'm just imagining the scenario like, hey, Dr. Searle, do you have a minute? I've just got a couple of questions.
Yeah, sure. What's up?
So like the tanning thing, you say it's healthy, and I'm not saying it's not, just to be clear, right?
You better not be.
And it's fine. I know you're not going past 3.1 whatever percent. It's just the pose, you know, like I've come in a couple of times like, you want to tan, fine, but like, do you need to show it your asshole?
Every inch has to be tanned. The sun must know me.
The sun must know me. I don't think that the sun needs to know
like,
you,
you know,
like
your
that.
Your asshole
you know,
is like a fingerprint. You know, like it's a unique. Well, the sun is God, and we are made in God's image. And as we'll learn in this movie, the sun does have a Death Star port, aka an asshole. So as they are all sitting down for dinner, the captain, Kaneda, he comes in and he tells them basically. He comes in and he says.
Quinn. Captain Canada.
Captain Canada and Captain America
Brandon.
In the same movie.
Captain Brandon from that Chinese movie we watched.
So, yeah, Captain Kaneda, he comes in and he says, the solar winds are much higher than expected, which I have no idea how they could get that wrong. Because A, the sun is dying, and B, it doesn't just like spike all of a sudden. You don't just get into an area where suddenly the solar wind is like 10,000 times stronger.
I have an explanation for this.
The sun farted. That's what
the sun was angry
is.
that Searle was showing him his asshole.
Go away. Don't get any closer. Go away.
Ew. Trying to burn these fucking germs away. But yeah, basically because the solar wind is much higher than expected, they have a very small window, about 24 hours, in order to send their final messages to their family. And this makes everyone kind of sad. Kaneda, the captain, does make a good point of like, hey, we all knew this was going to happen. It's just happening like a couple of days earlier than we expected. So like, write your last emails to your families. We're hopefully going to come back home, but it's still high risk.
And everyone has clearly procrastinated on this.
Oh yeah, that is the best part, because they only have 24 hours left and they only have one recording studio in which to make and send these things.
I hate that studio. Number one, why do you get like 3 different sides of your face recorded? And why do we have like the first Matrix background going on?
So basically, we get this scene where Kappa, our physicist, Cillian Murphy, he is in the little studio and he's recording a message to his sister. Basically, and he says, if we do this, if mission is successful, you will know before I get home, because 8 minutes after we do this, you will look up and you'll see the sun get brighter. And to your point, while he is doing this, for some reason, the message has like hacker script pouring down behind him as the green screen background. I don't know why they felt the need to add that. It makes him look significantly less serious. And he apparently took so long, he took so many tries to get this right, that Captain America, Mace, he did not have a chance to send a final message to his family. He burned all of the time. And like you said, Captain America had procrastinated. Later on, whenever he's talking to Dr. Searle, like so basically Mace and Kappa get into a fight because of this, because Kappa has monopolized all of the saying goodbye to one's family time, and now no one else can send a message.
I wish I kept track of how many times they entered a physical altercation in this movie.
Or, as Cassie calls it, we have an abundance of masculinity in the mess hall.
Yeah, the excess masculinity is here, guys.
Which does imply that this happens frequently. No one else in the crew is surprised that Kappa and Mace are fucking, like, beating each other up in the hallway.
I thought that crew selection was supposed to kind of wean this out, you know?
Yeah, but then, you know, if a sci-fi movie actually used people trained like astronauts do, you wouldn't have any conflict, because they're basically picked for being, you know, on top of their qualifications, they are picked for being the most, like, cuddly, friendly team players alive.
If they did that, then we would just have a better movie.
If this was just a movie of a team working together, cross-checking each other's work so that accidents don't make it through, yeah.
Instead, we have Dysfunction Junction.
So they get into a fight. Mace, he has to go talk to Dr. Searle, who's gonna, like, psychoanalyze him. He crucially says that, like, 18 months is a very long time and that he just lost track of things, which kind of implies that he has been procrastinating talking to his family at all. Like, that he has just continually been putting this off for months. But he gets prescribed to go into the holodeck, which they have, and look at women.
Watch a video.
It's called the Earth Room, and you go in there and it just shows all kinds of, like, Earth stuff.
And apparently waves are too violent.
Yeah, Mace keeps having a fight with the computer because he wants to watch this video of a bunch of people, like, on a pier, kind of, like, laughing in the rain and the wind as these, like, huge waves crash up against it. And the computer keeps going, like, that's too violent. We were told to give you something nice. And he's like, no, the violence is calming to me. We get some more scenes of everybody going about their day. Mace goes to apologize to Kappa, and I like this because even though it is heartfelt, it's still, like, the two most awkward characters in the movie by design. So Mace just kind of, like, stomps up and goes, like, I'm sorry for what happened. And there's a 5-second pause, and Kappa is like, was that the apology? Yes. And then they both stomp off in the opposite directions.
Fucking stupid. I hate it.
So Michelle Yeoh, Corey, she is going about her job as the botanist. She has a big garden, the O2 garden, basically.
Her child.
Yes, and she is way too attached to this garden. It will become a murder thing for her later on.
Oh yeah, it's a fascination that cannot end.
Captain Kaneda, aka Scorpion, he is sitting in his room and he is watching one of the last messages sent by the original mission, Icarus I. And from that we find out that Captain Pinbacker, aka Mark Strong, is the captain of the Icarus I.
It's such a name too, by the way. Like, I've never heard a name quite like that in all of human history.
It was based on a character named Pinback from another book. But yeah, even that, Pinbacker, I have never heard. Not to mention, he kind of has like an Eastern European accent, so I don't know what they were going for. But yeah, it's Mark Strong, and in this message, he's getting kind of culty about the sun. He keeps saying how beautiful it is, but he doesn't go all out.
Nothing that he says is inherently wrong.
No, he's just saying, like, he's giving a status report saying, hey, we had some damage from the shield. We went out there, we fixed it up, it's all fine. But I gotta tell you, Moonbase, it was beautiful. And then, of course, because they are really laying it on thick here, the video glitches to him saying beautiful and like zooming in on his eyes. Beautiful, 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 beautiful.
And his lips too. Like, why is it just so focused in?
Because, I mean, Mark Strong's facial features are pretty good.
Very chiseled, yeah. No, I'm not...
Yeah, except we're looking at, like, maybe 10% of his face. Also, gotta quickly double back. I posted the picture. The fucking botany room is disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
That mold, clean it.
There is mold, there is algae, like, pouring out of every single tank. It's disgusting.
She can't even clean her room, and she gets murderous over it.
And so we're setting up all of our various Chekhov's guns. We are setting up Mark Strong as the captain of the Icarus I. Mace, the mechanic, we're back to him working, and he's working on the coolant tanks for the AI. So it has these mainframes. They're basically just a bunch of server racks, and to keep them running, they have to be super cooled, which means dipping them into open vats of super coolant. This is not like behind a lid or anything. These are recessed into the ground at just like walking level. You could just fall into one. They are not sealed or anything.
This ship is not safe.
And we know how cold they are because Mace accidentally drops a wrench and he dips his hand in, pulls it back out in like less than half a second, and then does the Family Guy Peter like, oh, thing for like 10 seconds after. So we know it's very cold.
Just rocking back and forth
just
on
setting
the ground.
This up for later, yeah. So the crew are going about their lives, and then they get interrupted because Mercury has come around. This kind of also tells us how close they are. They are coming up on Mercury on the way to the sun.
Mercury is
so they've made a decent amount of progress, but like they're still pretty far away from the sun.
Mercury is in retrograde and we are fucked now.
I mean, from where they're flying in, it does appear to be orbiting in retrograde, now that I'm thinking about it, because we see it progress across the sun from right to left.
Quinn, they're just upside down.
They could be
That's
upside down.
Issue.
That is also fair. But the entire crew gathers in the observation room, and the captain says, as they're getting ready to watch Mercury pass in front of the sun, the captain says, like, all right, Icarus, raise the filter a little bit. And I would have given anything for the AI to fuck up and just go 100% right there.
The captain's just turning around, Searle, put your pants back on, you perv.
Everyone's sitting next to Searle is just kind of like inching away from him because he's just vibrating. His fists are just like, oh, come on.
The computer fucks up and sets the filter off. However, Searle's asshole has been it's the trained
only part
for this.
Of him that survives.
And
it's like Bondarenko's souls.
No. What happens is that all of the sun's power is funneled into his butthole.
Get behind me. I've readied myself for this.
He's achieved true self-actualization. He's a light bender now.
There is a dumb conspiracy documentary called Eat the Sun, and this is just like this is the sequel.
I was gonna say, does it involve showing the sun your asshole to just like prove you have the mandate?
Searle does seem like the kind of guy who would do a UV enema. I'm just saying. So yeah, they all gather, they watch Mercury, and then Harvey hears something. He hears something over the radio, which is textually, Mercury is an antenna, and it is rebroadcasting the distress signal from another ship, and that other ship is the Icarus I. So the crew now has a decision to make. They are getting an active distress signal from the Icarus I, and some of them want to go over and check it out. Maybe like save the crew, maybe get some supplies, stuff like that. At this point, they have more than enough supplies. Nothing has gone wrong with their mission. And I like this bit of characterization from Mace. Everyone's kind of saying like, oh yeah, like we could just like divert over there and like, you know, save the crew. Someone's got to still be alive. Mace just kind of tells them that they're idiots and that they have a crucial mission. They have a mission to save the fucking world.
Guys, did you forget what we're doing here?
If we fuck this up, everybody on Earth dies.
No, just watch the true reason why he's doing this is because he wasn't allowed in the phone booth and now he's mad and fatalistic about it.
Yeah, everyone else has fun in the observation room and only Mace plays with the holodeck. At first, I thought Mace was just being set up as the asshole who fights everyone and then gets killed off because those characters tend to exist in sci-fi. You have to demonstrate the threat early on and best do it with a character everyone hates. But we do see like consistent characterization in this movie. Mace puts the mission first. They kind of write this off as like, oh, he was a military guy, so he understands sacrifice. And he's more than willing to accept his own sacrifice for this. He isn't a hypocrite who puts himself first. He is very clear that we have a mission to do. If we fuck this up, Earth dies. And in complete fairness, the other side, Dr. Searle, he kind of takes the opposite side of why they should go and divert to Icarus I. And it's not out of some, like, humanist, we need to save the crew kind of thing. He points out that Icarus I has another bomb, and that they actually don't know if the bomb is going to work, so it's probably safer to go and get a second bomb just in case.
Yeah, what if the first shot to the sun's head doesn't finish it off? We're going to want a second one.
Exactly, yeah. And they have a bit of a back and forth, and eventually they land on, we'll make Kappa decide. Because he is the physicist. And we get to see his little simulation. He's running all the numbers, and as soon as the bomb gets anywhere near the sun, the AI is just like, yep, model reliability is crap. I have no idea what's going to happen. It says 45% reliability, which is basically a coin toss. So for all that they have invested in this, Kappa has no idea what's going to happen.
If you boil it down, technically everything is a coin toss. You know, either it happens or it doesn't. And no amount of probabilistic analysis is going to change the fact that it either happens or it doesn't. So like,
yeah, but there can be different odds for the happening, you know, like,
yeah, but you don't know that until it happens, right?
have a like quantum coin where one side of it is 99% bigger or 99 times bigger than the other side. And it just kind of like works.
I'm just saying, Quinn, you never have to tell me the odds, okay? Yeah, it either happens or it doesn't.
So before, the crew are doing their things. Searle, he's back in the room. He's looking at the sun again. And he has upgraded. So before we saw him staring at the sun with his bare eyes. Then we saw him staring at the sun with his sunglasses that he will perpetually wear for the rest of the movie, even in the dark. So I suspect he's blind. Now, he's cosplaying Riddick. If this isn't the show art already, we will have it linked. He's wearing Riddick goggles and just staring at the sun.
Riddick was about this time, right?
I think around
2000s,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
This definitely before this. I know the video games at least were before this.
Well, they don't tell you he was standing naked here except for the goggles.
Cliff Curtis, he looks kind of like Riddick. He's also bald. He's got the kind of like facial features and whatnot. He looks like Riddick as he is just, sunbathing.
But those goggles also make his eyes look so much further apart than they are.
On the other hand, though, I wish they had actually, because you see him getting more burnt through the movie, I wish he had, like, the worst farmer's tan in human history.
Oh, he just has the raccoon eyes?
Yeah, except it should be, like, blood red burns and then, like, perfectly pale. I want literally the worst farmer's tan ever.
Also, you can tell he's not a true adherent to the solar belief. He has to protect his eyes.
Exactly, yeah. Mark Strong, don't do that shit.
Why are you denying the sun's love? Let it in.
So yeah, the crew are all kind of doing their stuff to prepare for this new maneuver. Kappa lands on, he basically says, we don't know if this bomb is going to work. It is still humanity's last chance. They have mined all of the fissile materials. Between these two bombs, they say that represents literally all of the fissile materials on Earth. Uranium, plutonium, anything radioactive is in this bomb. So there is no other chance. And Kappa just says, hey, 2 last chances are better than 1. I say we go for the Icarus I.
Just taken aback by the logistical effort to locate and mine all of the fissile material on Earth. Like,
yeah,
there isn't a lot of it already in comparison to the rest of the matter on the planet, but to find every last grain of it and put it in one place.
And they have enough of it that they say that the bomb has enough mass that it has its own gravity. Whenever characters are walking around inside of the bomb, it is textually because it has so much mass that it gives them like almost Earth's moon's gravity.
I didn't think about that at all, by the way, when it becomes relevant later.
Oh yeah, and I'm mad that they brought up gravity at all, because when they're close to the sun, at the photosphere, basically the quote-unquote sun's surface, gravity should be 28 times higher than Earth. So they should be crushed.
Again, there's a lot of science in this movie that isn't, and that is upsetting.
Yeah. It is always weird with sci-fi movies where they draw the line of like, we did a lot of research for this part, and the other part we're going to hand wave with hypertech.
The fact that there is supposedly enough fissile material to create an artificial gravity on par with the moon, I don't think that's accurate.
Well, he also throws out some stuff saying that they've harvested dark matter.
Okay, well...
which does not line up with the... like, is it a nuclear bomb or is it dark matter? I don't know.
And then I'm thinking, like, fissile materials, and I'm like, it's not a hydrogen bomb.
Yeah, I feel like the sun has a lot of hydrogen.
Well, I mean, that's the problem, is that the sun doesn't have enough hydrogen, Quinn.
Yeah, but at the same... now that I'm thinking about it, like, the sun is powered by a fusion reaction, and they're going to throw a fission bomb into it, which I feel like maybe isn't necessarily going to help as much.
That's what I was also saying at the beginning, is that you're putting a heavy element into the sun. Yeah,
like the sun doesn't burn uranium. It's doing some like deuterium and like tritium stuff. But now we're gonna throw U-235 in there.
Again, I'm not a physicist, or like a material scientist or whatever. But like I know that through the course of a star's lifetime, the core of the star becomes heavier and heavier elements until it can no longer handle it and dies. So like you'll remember this one, but I think this was before Chris's time. Do you remember? Oh my God, what is it? The fucking image I would always post and then make everyone have conversations about, where it's like 3 trillion lions versus the sun or something. Who wins?
Oh yeah,
and it's still the sun by the largest margin. Like, but the idea of like, what if I shot 3 trillion blue whales into the heart of the sun? What would happen? And I'm like, that's still not enough, I'm pretty sure. But I'm basically the point of the thought experiment is, how much carbon can I inject into the sun before the sun gives a shit about it?
Yeah. Like, when does it actually become significant?
Like polluting the sun with heavy elements that it can't do anything with, and then killing it. Like, you need an incomprehensible, I guess it is technically comprehensible because it's science, but like...
incomprehensible to the human mind.
It's incomprehensible to normies like me who aren't scientists, who don't crunch numbers like this. You need an absurd amount of anything to fill the sun. And our sun isn't even like the biggest star either. Like, there's just so much crap out in the universe.
Just
like,
the entire premise of this really does feel like my car is running low on fuel. What am I going to do about it? Just drop a quarter stick of TNT into the gas tank?
I was just thinking, would it work? Probably not. Do I think it could lead to some cool stuff? Absolutely, because I've been playing a lot of Stalker and Project Silverfish recently, so I'm probably being kind of like impacted by that. And what I'm thinking is, I think it would be really cool as a setting to have like Chernobyl, but it's a solar system. Like a species has accidentally turned their entire solar system into the zone by throwing uranium into their sun and like triggering like a hyper neutron bomb, basically.
Creating the birth of the toxic god, Quinn.
Yeah, this would be a Stellaris event pack. So yeah, we've derailed a fair bit there. Basically, the crew is now decided that they are going to go to Icarus I. They're going to try and go and retrieve the other bomb. I have no idea how. Maybe if they like fired one bomb and then went back to the Icarus to grab the other one. But Wong fucks up. Trey, their navigator, he fucks up in a way that everyone for the rest of the movie will like blame him for, but I think is actually like wildly dumb. Basically, he has to plot them a new course that lets them rendezvous with Icarus I. Icarus I that is in a very, very low circular orbit around the sun. Like their mission, Icarus II, they're just going to fly at it and then fly away. They are not going to enter like a close orbit of the sun. Icarus I, meanwhile, like they made it like 99.999% of the way to their mission, and then they stopped.
Yeah, they are like unbelievably close.
So much so that at that distance from the sun, any exposure to sunlight will destroy anything that isn't the ship's shield. And I do actually really like this. So what Trey fucks up is that he makes the trajectory right, but he accidentally forgets to angle the ship's shield. And because of that, there is some kind of damage. There is an alarm. A couple of the panels on the shield are damaged, and they are going to have to go out there and fix it manually, which means a spacewalk. Again, every single character blames Trey for this. I'm kind of left wondering why he was alone to do that task. You know, like he did the trajectories part right. Why wasn't Mace there?
There are checklists for this sort of thing.
Exactly. Why did everyone just trust Trey to do it alone and then get mad at him whenever he messed up one thing?
And again, like this is the part of the movie where I immediately realized, like, oh, this is sort of like thematically similar to Interstellar.
Yeah, and then as
one of my most favorite movies of all time, because I love TARS.
The AI in this movie is significantly worse, as we'll get to in a second.
But my point is that like it's humanity's best and brightest making human mistakes in high pressure situations where a decision has to be made hastily. Yeah. That's kind of what I picked up on this part. And so it's like it's that like 2020 hindsight, like wow, this was really stupid. Like why did nobody like help? Like where was the teamwork here? Like where was the coordination? Like where was the thought process? And it's just that there wasn't time for it. There was not a sufficient amount of time,
like preparation,
to prepare this properly. It was we need to make a decision now because you know the window is closing to make our decision. So let's get this all sorted out, like now. And it's like. You need so much time to like think through all this and go through checklists, and that just doesn't happen. Yeah. So and then also at the same time, this is where like I mean like we're gonna get to it, but like this was the pivotal decision making point where I'm like, oh well, this is also like Interstellar because the moral of the story is if Interstellar didn't deviate from the original plan, then everything would have been fine. TM.
And this is also that.
And this is also like, yeah, like, well, you know, it was a bust. And if we hadn't gone to Icarus I, none of this would have happened. And everyone would have gone home. And it would have been great. Quinn, it's that picture, the redacted text thing where it's like everybody was fine and had a good time.
The mission was a blast. Everyone had fun.
Yeah.
And I do really like this scene. I really like this setup. So basically, the spacecraft, the Icarus II, you need to think of it as like the actual habitation module is this long string of small, normal, like ISS modules. They are not sun protected. What protects them from the sun is that the bomb, they are attached to this giant sun shield, this like multiple kilometers across, miles across sun shield. And behind that is the bomb.
Also, Quinn.
Yes.
Okay. I had to look this up at the beginning of the episode while we were talking. It is giving me Kadesh Mothership.
It is. Oh, yeah.
And I looked this up because Homeworld was released in 1999. So therefore, it is incredibly likely that
they stole the Kadesh.
Maybe somebody... Well, it's not that they stole it. It's just that that's how pop culture inspiration works,
Bro,
you know?
If they had found Icarus I and it was actually the Gardens of Kadesh... That I would love
Quinn,
that so much.
Think about it. Pinbacker is kind of insane in the same way that the nebulae dwellers are. And so, like, you know, maybe.
It could work.
I'm not saying that it's, you know, ripped 1-to-1, but again, it's like, there's got to be at least one person on that art and design team that played this game and was like, I love this game so much.
Granted, in terms of ship designs, a big circle with a tiny little like tail coming off of it is not completely unique.
And that was the thing I was going to pivot to next, was like, you know, at the same time, like there's convergent design evolution theory that could be applied here, and like ultimately, like, yeah, like of course, if you're going to protect yourself from the sun, you need a shield, you need an umbrella. So like,
yeah, it makes sense.
But you show me that shape and I'm going to think of this thing. So like, and that thing was like my favorite thing. I was obsessed with them.
Yeah, they're really cool.
I love the insane pseudo-religious cult stuff like that. That was really impactful it's a good, on me as a child.
You know, like the Mechanicus, and that's
why like I'm insane today. So like.
But the setup for this, basically, there are a couple of damaged panels. The shield is made up of articulated panels, kind of like scales. And a couple of them are damaged, which means that they are going to have to send an EVA team out there to work on them. But they can't if the shield is in the sunlight. So what they'll have to do, and I really like this setup. I love the idea of like just angling things perfectly. They will have to, instead of have the ship go directly at the sun, they will have to tilt it slightly off-center so that the edge of the damaged shield, like where the damage is in the shade, while still protecting as much of the actual, like, Icarus II habitation modules behind. And they figure out that they can do it. They can give the repair team just enough space, but it will mean that, like, their comms towers are on these really long rotating booms. Those are just going to go out of the shade, and they are going to get melted. So for the spacewalk, Kaneda, the captain, he volunteers. And then everyone else is trying to figure out who's going to go next, and we get this.
I volunteer.
No, I volunteer. Fine. I volunteer, Kappa.
Which I love.
Imagine getting voluntold by the dickhead coworker.
Not to mention, the engineer, the guy who repairs the ship, does not want to go out. He wants to send the captain and the theoretical physicist, the only person who knows how the bomb works.
I was going to say chain of command obviously just means fuck all now.
Yeah, and we also, like, with chain of command, Harvey is the second in command, so he's not allowed to go. But throughout the whole movie, Mace is, like, kind of drawing up in his head, like, who's most useful. And his idea for this little repair job is not him, the repair guy, but that they should send the two most important characters to the mission, the commander and the physicist.
Yes.
Without whom, if anything goes wrong, without whom the mission is fucked. But they decide to go, Kaneda and Kappa. And I know we have different opinions. How would you guys describe these spacesuits?
I loved them. I think that they had like I love the glam. I love gold reflective material.
It's Mylar core.
Yes, yeah. I love it so much.
And I hate the little bread slot that they have to work through.
I love the bread slot. I think that like the whole thing. Oh, fuck, what am I thinking of?
They just imagine trying to do any kind of delicate precision work while staring through the tiniest little bread slot with no head articulation.
Hopefully, this will also be on the episode art. For context, listener, if you've ever seen those pictures of like those old prototype NASA suits where they were hard shells. So instead of being a lot of layers of like heating and cooling material and anti-radiation shielding, but still ultimately like a soft shell, NASA did experiment, or like deep sea divers, like a Big Daddy suit. This spacesuit, now that I'm thinking about it, imagine a Big Daddy suit from BioShock, except covered in Mylar. And Mylar, if you don't know, is the kind of reflective material. It's the gold stuff. Whenever you look at the Apollo 11 lander, any of the kind of gold crinkle sheet on it, that's Mylar. It's used a lot in spacecraft for insulation and like heat protection kind of stuff. And these suits, yeah, they look like a deep sea diver suit. They're very angular, they're not rounded, and they are covered in this like golden solar reflective Mylar, which we learn is very useful here because they're going to be going out almost in sunlight.
I just don't like these suits.
All right, you can stand alone with that one for once.
The funny thing for me, I wasn't the biggest fan of the suits, but
all right, then I can just have my insane golden suit cult by myself.
Yes,
then.
You
Thanks,
can.
Quinn.
But at the same time, I love how they prep like the suit up scene where they're hooking up all the stuff. The music is very nice. This movie has a great soundtrack more than just the one famous song. They have all kinds of remixes of it. They have a bunch of kind of like otherworldly kind of like chanting in the background that really sets the scene of like shit is about to get real in a somewhat philosophical way.
I love how the suit could be blinded by a singular strip of duct tape.
Well, yeah, that too.
Chris, you ever go full stare at the sun?
Yes.
That's your problem.
I see the dots.
I don't get what the problem is.
I don't
get what the problem is. Full stares at the eclipse. Each of us
dressed like Vin Diesel as Riddick, just sitting out staring at the sun. Like, yeah, I don't get it.
Getting the worst fucking sunburn of all time.
No, like Searle, I get it, but like, you know, I get the goggles, but why do you have to wear the entire getup?
Why do you have to show the sun your asshole?
Why did you bring your Riddick cosplay all the way out here? So yeah, the crew go out there. They kind of navigate their way around. This is very well shot. Anything inside is done on a soundstage, but everything outside is CGI. And for 2007, this is very good CGI. It doesn't look weird. They don't do a distracting amount of CGI. It's not like all kinds of fireworks in your face. But yeah, Kaneda and Kappa, they take a whole bunch of repair gear with them. They go out onto the now kind of shielded part of the like sun shield, and they start finding the panels and working on them. As this is happening, true to form, the comms towers, there's these two communications towers that are sticking off from like the spine of the spacecraft, and they're spinning around, and they just cross into the sunlight, which means that they instantly get burnt to a crisp.
And this was the exact moment that I was like, why couldn't they have just stopped them?
Yeah, what?
And locked them on the far side where they would have been safe? Like,
not to mention, like, they would have saved the towers, but they also would have saved themselves so much trouble. And as with like another character who is way too attached to his hardware, whenever these radios go down, Harvey, the communications guy, he looks legitimately murderous.
Yes.
So the repairs are going well. They've got 3 of the panels down, and then the computer reasserts control and starts pointing the spacecraft back at the sun, exposing the entire shield to close-up sunlight. We also get this exchange, which if I was making an AI for my ship, I would never allow it to say this.
Resuming computer control of Icarus II.
Negative Icarus manual control.
Negative Cassie, computer control.
I don't know why that's an option.
It's so backsassy.
Negative Cassie, computer control.
Again, we got to bring it back to God, why am I blanking on the name of the movie? The Chinese one. But it's the same
Wandering
thing.
Earth.
Yeah, it's the same thing as in Wandering Earth. The AI is going to backsass you and tell you to shut the fuck up and do the mission.
Is this before or after the burning comms tower beams light directly into the very conveniently open and slot-shaped window into the botany room?
It's at exactly the same time, because this is how we find out that there is a fire.
Why did the botany room need a window?
The plants need to see space.
They need to see. The plants need to see God.
They're in a room filled with artificial light. It's a hydroponics bay. It doesn't need to have sunlight.
But if the plants can't see God, how will they remain true to his light?
Yes. So yeah, like Chris was saying, the crisis now and the reason why the AI takes back control is because there is a fire in the O2 garden. And the reason why there is a fire, something that no one predicted, is that even though the comms towers have been melted and are non-functional, they have now turned into mirrors. So every time they swing out into the sunlight, it shoots a laser beam. It like scores a laser across the Icarus II.
It's also worth noting, it doesn't even penetrate it.
No, it doesn't cut a hole or anything. Like, it doesn't vent. It just goes through the window and starts a fire. So now the entire O2 garden is on fire.
I love how much of this movie's like plot problems come from having a window.
Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Imagine if
moral of the story,
both Searle and Pinbacker didn't have the ability to look out an observation window at the sun, they wouldn't have gone insane. No. I mean, like...
Is the sun becoming another villain?
So, outside, Kaneda and Kappa, they are rushing to get this final panel fixed, while inside, they are trying to wrestle back control of the spacecraft from the AI. And it's basically them reading off their overrides, their passwords and credentials and whatnot. And what I found funny is that the override password that all of them have is 000. And then the AI is just like, oh, wow, no one could have guessed that. I guess I gotta give you control now.
Shit, you got one over on me.
And this is something I didn't get. They get control back from the computer pretty quickly, but they don't stop the shield from turning. Like, the ship is slowly reorienting itself to point right at the sun, which will expose the entire shield, which will crisp the captain and Kappa if they are still on there. They fix that problem. The AI is not doing that anymore, but they don't actually stop the turn. So they just tell the captain and Kaneda, like, hey, you need to get out of there right now.
Also, complete aside here, I was still sussing out everybody's names by this point in the movie, and I thought that Kappa for the longest time was just like an endearment for the captain.
Maybe, yeah. They don't explain the names well. More in the vein of people getting way too attached to their hardware, Corey, whenever she hears that there is a fire, she sprints, she rolls underneath closing bulkhead airlock doors in order to get to her plants, even though they are already burned and gone.
It's so she can die with them.
She tries to die with them. She can't get through the door. So she curls up in this glass corridor surrounded by fire on all sides and just starts weeping because her work is gone.
I do not like her character.
No, she's awful. And she's going to get worse. Outside on the shield, the captain, Kaneda, he orders Kappa back to the airlock, and he says, I'm going to fix this last one. I will be with you in a second. Kappa leaves. Everyone is shouting at the captain to just leave the panel, just come back. The song starts. The song, this booming orchestral, the best part of this movie's soundtrack is going. This dramatic song. Everyone is shouting over the radio. The captain fixes the last panel, and then I both loved this. It's so dramatic, but if I actually stop to think about it, it is the dumbest thing I have ever heard. Searle,
you were saying this yesterday, and it immediately made me counterthink and be devil's advocate. But I'm going to let you go first.
So as this is happening, everyone is trying to tell the captain to turn around. And to be fair, I don't know if he actually would have been able to make it back. But instead, he spends a full 30 seconds accepting death. He just kind of floats and looks at the sun. And over the radio, everyone is telling him to leave. Everybody except for Searle, who is shouting this.
What did you see? Searle, tell him to move. Kaneda, what can you see?
And what he sees is fire.
He's getting really crispy really
what
quick.
he sees is fire, but also what he sees is something that no other human being alive before or after will have witnessed.
Okay, but
my brother in Christ.
Imagine the physics and social science questions that could be answered by staring at the sun from point blank.
You will never regret staring at the sun.
This is what Searle has been doing. He wants the captain to admit that the sun is cheating on him.
He's really hoping that the captain says nothing, because then he will know that the sun only loves him.
We're turning the sun into an SCP, and I don't like it.
Another thing with this movie is that anytime anyone gets scorched by the sun and burnt to a crisp and whatnot, they don't get a happy fade to white kind of thing. They get an extended 10-second agony montage of them screaming while weird growly demon noises play. It is not quick for Kaneda. He fucking burns, screams, and then a wave of plasma washes over and just atomizes him. I don't know.
He's cooked.
Yeah. And meanwhile, the entire time
it was pretty brutal.
What do you see, Kaneda?
He just can't get over it.
Yeah, and again, by this point, he has a couple of scabs on his face.
Y'all got any more of them UV rays?
So Kappa barely escapes. He makes it back inside, and in the aftermath of this, they have very little O2 left. They don't even have enough O2 to make it to the original drop point.
And this was the part where I was like, Where's your system redundancies? Yeah. Why was it all in just one place? Like,
why were all of your O2 tanks next to all of your plants? So they have to go to Icarus I. They have no choice now. All of their plants are gone, like, let alone even making it home. Like, that is no longer in the cards. Except Corey, who I will remind you now, like, she gets really murderous over her plants being gone, and she is now a botanist without plants, aka she is completely useless to the mission. She immediately pulls Cassie and Mace aside and suggests that they murder 3 people in order to stretch the supplies.
Immediately flicking to murder.
Yes. And the main person she suggests murdering is Trey, the navigator, the guy who originally fucked up, who is now sedated in the infirmary as a suicide risk.
He's having the shittest time here amongst all of the crew.
Yes, and I also feel bad for Bruce Wong because he's not in the movie anymore. We are 40 minutes into an hour and 40-minute movie, and he is effectively, like, he does not do anything from now on. We get 1 or 2 scenes of him lying down sedated. He has just been effectively written out. He basically dies at this point.
You got rocks fall, your character's dead.
Yeah, except we're still gonna, like, bring you up occasionally. It's like when an actor doesn't want to be in a show anymore, but they have to give, like, 2 episodes of, oh no, they got off-screen deathinitis.
It makes me think about, because it's like imagine, like, you know, you're an actor, you kind of have to like what you're doing.
Yeah.
But imagining for a moment that the movie's, like, really good, and, like, the only part that you get to play in it is, like, the first 20 minutes and then you're gone. Like, all of the scenes that you shoot are over, and then they're going to continue doing shooting and stuff and having fun without you for the next, I don't know, like, however long it takes.
I guess in that case, if you're successful and have, like, good prospects, what that means is that you can get out of that film earlier, and now your agent can find you something else. So you could, like, hopefully fill that time. But still,
imagine being one of the extras on, like, the Lord of the Rings shoot, and, like, you are out of the movie
immediately,
and you don't get to follow everyone around. You don't get to follow everyone around and then go see cool places and hang out with people.
You do not go to New Zealand.
You're done. You don't go to New Zealand. You're done. You're gone. Bye. And then and that's going to be the foundational memory you have of being an extra in the Shire scenes in the Fellowship of the Ring. Like,
yeah. And in fairness, he acts like everyone in this movie. No one acts poorly. You know, they are all giving it their best. And considering, like, the pedigree of the actors on this, even if they weren't all super famous at the time, they are all incredible at their roles. I like Trey because he has this, like, especially with everything we've talked about on the main show, every single space history disaster, like, the officials always want to boil it down to one person fucking up, and then we fired that person, so the fuck up is solved. Even though it's always this, like, bureaucratic and systematic failure. And Trey makes that point. He's telling everyone that he fucked up. He's crying, and he's just shouting, like, I had so much to do. My head was all full of equations. I just forgot. And with everything we talked about on the show, that just kind of stuck with me.
He was just overloaded, plain and simple.
And, like, if I'm thinking, like, basically, coming back to Corey, who 5 minutes after the captain is dead is just like, we need to find and kill 3 people. To which Mace says, 3 out of 7, that is a lot of short straws. She also doesn't volunteer, and it had me thinking of, like, if I had to kill 3 out of the 7 in order to stretch the supplies, based on utility to the mission, it would be the radio guy who doesn't have a radio tower anymore, the botanist lady who doesn't have a plant anymore, and probably Searle. Just because, you know, the mental health is important, but he doesn't actually maintain the ship. He does, like, they only need a couple more days to let the bomb off. But yeah, that does not happen. The ship goes and rendezvous with the Icarus I. It is just floating there. It is also apparently perfectly aligned so that as it orbits the sun, something in the ship is still working to keep it hidden behind its own shield. It has not burned up. It hasn't gotten scorched or anything. They send all of the remaining conscious men, so that is Harvey, Kappa, Mace, and Searle onto the ship, with Cassie and Corey staying behind to kind of do like Overwatch and whatnot. They make it inside. The ship has a comical amount of dust on it.
Can we wait before we go too far away from this? So again, like we arrive at Icarus I.
Yes.
Something I thought of that maybe it's not that big of a deal, but they like overlap.
Oh, the shields, yeah.
The sun shields. And I was thinking, wouldn't that be kind of risky considering that the sunlight that is beaming on the edge
it could like reflect
into the back of the shield of
the
Icarus
other one,
II?
yeah, and maybe like damage it. I don't think they thought of that. It would make sense though. Also, they don't have like a shuttlecraft or anything. In order to dock the Icarus II to the Icarus I, they have to fully detach their ship, the entire ship, from the bomb and float over to Icarus I, which is big. And they get inside Icarus I, and again, like, there is so much dust. Searle says that 90% of dust is human skin.
Yeah, we're in the skin room.
It is inches deep. Like, people are leaving deep footprints in this stuff. It is so, like, it is comically an amount of dust.
Yeah, people are just habitually shedding like lizards.
Or maybe it's all Pinbacker, because as they are exploring around, they find that the O2 garden of the Icarus I is still alive. Like, it's a jungle in there. It is overgrown. They find years worth of uneaten supplies.
Like, that room in and of itself saves their mission in its entirety.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, hey, botanist, get over here, grab some fucking plants, your garden's back.
But as they are exploring, they find some signs of things not going well. Specifically, because this is now a video game, they find an evil, insane audio log from Pinbacker, the captain of the Icarus I, who says this.
In the face of this, we are dust, nothing more. And through this dust, we will return.
Okay, I do have to say, okay,
go ahead.
I was thinking about this at the time. When they were boarding the ship, and you have like those single frame flashes of the Icarus I members' crew
like
faces,
like
or maybe
Christmas
it was the
picture,
Icarus.
yeah.
It's from their like chip picture, which
they're like
which I think doesn't Icarus II also have one of those?
They do. They showed early on.
They have a Christmas picture.
Yeah, it's so fast. I don't know whose faces they are, but you're being flashed the faces of these people, which again, I'm pretty sure it's the Icarus II, because like as the Icarus II crew members are stepping over the precipice into Icarus I wasn't sure if I was like hallucinating or if there was like there were several parts of watching this where I'm like, I'm not sure if like the maybe there's like some kind of weird thing going on with the streaming site, because I did have to change my like
flash
source
up a
few times
randomly. That's intentional.
I went back and replayed. I'm like, oh, this is intentional design. Like, and this is horrifying actually to think about.
Yeah, the movie does this weird thing throughout where any single time a light is pointed directly at a camera. So like if a spotlight sweeps across the camera, if there's ever sun glare or anything pointed directly at the camera, anytime that happens, it takes the chance to add like a second or two of like flash frames of people's memories. So like when it happens to Searle, we see him with a woman for like, again, like just a single frame. It's neat, it's thematic and whatever, but it's also like disorienting.
Yes.
Whenever you're trying to focus on the scene and suddenly there's just like, you know, a couple of stray images here or there have just like flashed up in front of your face.
I don't know. I like that. I think it's fucked up and evil and it's cool.
My fucked up evil side when.
But they start exploring around the ship. They find the crew of the Icarus I. So in the exact same way that their whole crew gathered to see Mercury in the observation room, they find the burnt, desiccated, scorched corpses of the Icarus I crew, who have apparently all gathered in the observation room and turned the filter to full blast.
Yeah, and like this was the part of the movie where I'm like, oh, well, this is it. Like that is the climactic, like Icarus I failed because everybody decided that they needed to commit group suicide.
Yeah.
And I did not expect what will be coming next, which we've been unfortunately spoiling the entire episode. But like, I thought this was it. And like, that was still heavy enough to me that I'm like, oh, well, I accept that this is it. And like, like there didn't need to be another twist to this.
Yeah.
Like this could have just continued on as was.
And we've got, especially with what we have at the moment, which is we have recordings from the captain who is saying we are all dust. And you can't see his face in the videos, but he is horribly burned. This character, Captain Pinbacker.
I want to point to, just because I can't autistically let this sit, but going back to the dust amount, and like I'm pretty sure that the Icarus I crew was also only like 7 to 12
I think
people
they were
or
8,
whatever.
yeah.
Like there's not a lot of people, and there's a comical amount of dust everywhere, and then it's human skin, and it's just like, even if like there's just years worth of accumulated skin. So it's just like, like you've lived in a room and haven't dusted, presumably, maybe listener, Quinn, Chris, like maybe sometimes you get a little lazy about dusting.
It's called clean. As soon as you're done listening to this, clean your fucking room.
I'm just saying this because like I've noticed since Elijah passed, there's a lot less dust because there's a lot less skin shedding,
cat hair
from a cat. Yeah. And so like,
bro, what if it was all cat hair? What if like the crew's cat was still alive?
I have become more attuned to
the dust,
how much over time the dust accumulates from just my skin, and it's a lot slower. So thinking about like, how long would it take for 8 people to shed enough skin to be like, a 1/4 inch deep or whatever? And I'm like, it's going to cover the entirety of our ship, which is like what, like a kilometer long or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
And so it's like the entirety of our living space is covered with like a quarter, because again, like you have to go through, this is also dust that's going through like the air system, right? Like it's getting into the vents. It's all over the place. Like
the dust is
you would need to have, because like again, that was the thing I thought of. I'm like, okay, so maybe they arrived here at this point and they just stopped and lived there for a while and thought about like, okay, is what we're doing worth it or not? And like they have like again like that psychological epiphany of, oh well, I mean, this is all just hubristic and we just shouldn't give up. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I think that there's a lot of good like nihilism theming here.
Oh yeah, that's the captain's bread and butter.
I think that the resident nihilist is going to like be enthusiastic about, but like I'm like, oh well, this is a cool thing, because it's like, this is humanity's, again, I'm thinking about Interstellar at the same time too, where it's like, this is humanity's best and brightest sent on this critical mission to save everybody, and then they get to this precipice where they realize it's like and again, this is where the having an actual good psychological like chaplain to help you would have been, it's just like they lost the will to continue because they felt that in the face of everything, it's just like, what is the point? Like, what if our mission doesn't succeed? We're going to die anyway. And it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, there's this, the duality of it. Again, it's like, well, if you're going to die anyway, shouldn't you die trying at least? Right? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's sort of that weight of it, not aided by the captain being literally insane about the sun and his religious gatekeeping of the afterlife. But like,
I wouldn't say it's the opposite of gatekeeping. He wants to drag everyone in.
Yeah, I mean, I do wish we kind of knew what had happened.
He's making that decision for everyone else, right? He's gatekeeping.
I do wish we found out what happened on Icarus I, because like the captain doesn't die with them. Like, sorry, if that's a bit of a
cult
spoiler.
leader. He's the cult leader. He convinces everyone to Jamestown massacre themselves,
and he wants to be the last human alive.
Yeah, but again, like that's my point. Is like, that's why I think that like Icarus I's situation is really interesting, because like the captain clearly indoctrinated everyone into his ideology, and then they ritualistically suicided themselves. This is Captain Torres and his crew and Salvation.
Yeah.
You know, like he convinced them to be like this so that they wouldn't question him like at all. And so like, and again, like his reason for staying alive is either hubristic because he wants to be the last person alive, or it's just like at the last possible moment, he's like, oh, well, I'm not going to go die with them. because
I'm not done
I
yet.
don't want to die. It's inherent to my living nature to not die. So,
or maybe I don't think this would work, but maybe he's thinking like, I know there might be an Icarus II. Maybe I need to be around to stop it.
We can question the motives of a literally insane man for hours and never come to a true conclusion. So,
but as they are exploring, the ships blast apart, like the airlock is blown. And what they figure out is that this has to have been done manually, and they don't know who could have done it. But still on the Icarus I, that means that they now need to find a way back home. They do not grab any of the supplies. They do not grab any O2, anything like that. They don't try and actually do anything that they went to the Icarus I for. They just try and find a way back.
They just panic and immediately dip.
I'm realizing something, Quinn.
What?
Why didn't they have like other airlocks? Why did they just have the one that this became the disaster? Again, like this is a situation where I'm like, this is pissing off the amateur engineer brain in me, where it's like, where is our system's redundancy? When you have a system failure, you need to have backups because like there is a certain degree of inevitability that something's going to break,
especially on
and
a
you
mission
cannot
like
have
this.
a singular point of failure. I have worked in a company whose design philosophy for its, company structure had too many single points of failure where it's like, the one guy who knows a thing isn't in and it suddenly becomes my problem to try to figure it out. Like, I don't like being in that situation. And so like, that's really like deeply ingrained in me, this thought process of maybe redundancy is not just a good thing, but is necessary for anything to function, because I don't want to put people in a situation when I'm not there to solve a thing that only I know about. Like, And therefore, like, if you need your lungs to breathe, maybe having two of them is better than having one. So,
but back in the airlock, I do like this. Again, Mace, Captain America, Chris Evans, he is not a hypocrite when it comes to his pragmatism. He takes a look at the people around the room, which is him, Kappa, Harvey, and Searle, and he basically points at Kappa and says, like, he's the important one. He's the only one who knows how the bomb works. There is one spacesuit in this room.
He's actually thinking about
the mission.
Like going back to what Chris was saying about redundancy. Okay, what happens if, the robot shits the bed for some reason? At least this guy over here can still, complete the objective.
And what he proposes for the others. So he just starts like tearing insulation off of the walls, and he basically builds a couple of little suits of like Mylar.
They're mummy wrapping themselves in insulation.
Yeah, exactly. Just getting some kind of insulation, so they're not
even like wholly in some cases too, because we got like shoulder peak.
Or like
it's not
a completely uncovered face. They're basically gonna try and do the duct tape spacewalk from For All Mankind.
They're just trying to minimize raw dogging space.
Yes, and what they're going to do is they're going to blast themselves out of the Icarus I airlock, and try and vaguely hit the Icarus II airlock and then close it behind them. They're just going to hope things work.
Yeah, which, again, I'm no physicist, but God, this could never work.
They're starting
for
off...
2/3 of them.
For 2/3 it does.
Well,
Don't ask about the
sorry,
third.
my bad. I mixed that up. But the other thing they realized is that in the same way that the Icarus I airlock had to be actuated manually, the Icarus II airlock, someone has to stay behind to pull the lever. So Searle volunteers. He's going to stay behind. He's going to operate the airlock.
Yeah, he actually understands the assignment pretty quick.
Harvey, though, who is now the acting captain, he immediately becomes a villain in this scene, and he's like, well, I should get the spacesuit. That Mace overrules him with. They're asking, like, who's gonna sacrifice themselves, who's gonna stay behind. Harvey's immediately like, no, I'm mission critical. I'm giving you an order. You need to let me leave here.
Whoa, where's your radio, big guy?
Yeah, like, oh, you suddenly seem less useful. Trying to threaten Mr. Psychotic Pragmatism with I'm the captain now does not work.
Like, considering what happens not long from here, he's clearly already in the mindset if I've got to kill someone.
Yeah, and we immediately, as soon as he becomes an asshole and starts like shouting about how he's super important and he needs to survive, I immediately in my head I transpose the angry asshole character who gets killed off because they're an asshole from Mace to Harvey. and I do not get disappointed. They all get in the airlock. Mace and Harvey have their little, like, their parkas made of Mylar, and Searle blasts them all out towards the Icarus II.
And we find out that someone's grip strength is not as good as the others.
Oh.
Rewinding for just a sec, I thought for a moment that you were going to compare the two characters as like I've already portrayed you as the seething second in command Jack, and me as the Chad psychotic pragmatist.
Look upon my works in despair.
So they are meant to hold on to the spacesuit. They are meant to hold on to Kappa, who is going to use the jetpacks to like get them to safety. Harvey immediately goes spinning off. Like, it's not even a like, oh no, he gets halfway there and then he misses. We see a top-down view. As soon as the airlock is blown, Harvey is going off at like a solid 30-degree angle. He has no hope.
ripped out of Kappa's arms by the pressure differential of a kilometer-long hallway into nothing.
Or Kappa just wasn't really holding on.
Not to mention a jungle level O2 system going haywire for 7 months. Yeah, like, how are the plants alive? They need CO2. But...
And, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, all we know is what happened from that amount of dust is we had Captain Pinbacher showing his asshole.
Was he just doing cardio and, like, breathing hard the entire time to counteract it?
Well, I mean, like, Quinn, like, that's the thing that I mentioned is, like, we don't know how long they were there for. Like, I imagine it was certainly not a situation where they arrived and immediately killed themselves. Like, it was probably
a while.
A situation where they had time to contemplate.
Yeah. Like, and then Pinbacker worked his cult magic.
Yeah, he worked his cult magic, showed everyone, hey, just point your hole at the sun, everything will be fine.
2 years in the sun's corona or whatever, with no radio broadcast back home to get your anime, it will drive you insane.
And
just interpreting anime in the swirls of the sun.
Yeah, and all that dust, that's just him, like, basically shedding his scalp every 2 days from dandruff.
I mean, I don't doubt it. So yeah, Harvey goes spinning off and he dies in space. And I want to say, I really like this, because 2 minutes later, just as the rest of the crew are kind of like getting their feet under them, we don't see a lot of it. Like, there is one scene where the fully flash frozen Harvey, he like hits a stanchion and his arm shatters.
I don't think it's fair to say he's flash frozen because he's freezing quite slowly and it's awful.
Yeah. And he like coughs up blood and it freezes. A little bit later, we get this kind of like nice scene where it's not zoomed in. It doesn't show his body. It just shows a white speck, this little speck just kind of floating next to the ship. And then it gets out beyond the edge of the shield and just kind of like vaporizes. It just kind of like,
yeah,
it's
gone. Just poofs.
Yeah. And I love how that's presented. So yeah, Harvey's dead. Searle gets left behind. Mace and Kappa, they make it back to the ship. And everyone is trying to like, heat Mace up because his hand is like horribly frostbitten. Searle, meanwhile, he stays behind and he doesn't get on the radio. He does not try and communicate with his crew or say goodbye in any way. As Cassie is on the radio telling him like,
we're all thinking of you.
We're all thinking of you. Like, we're going to go now. We love you. He is immediately just like Chad walking his way into the observation room.
The sun needs me.
Yeah. He does not. He is dead. Like, he is textually dead 2 minutes after the airlock is blown. He does not wait. He does not look out the window to see if his crew survived. He is going straight for the sun, baby. He plonks himself down in the exact same room with all of the dead Icarus I crew, and then he just waits there as it's weird. I don't think the observation room is in the shield because we see that the ship is moving, like tilting a little bit, and that causes the observation room to enter the sunlight. But however it happens, Searle immediately burns himself to a crisp and dies. And again, it's not a good death. We get a lot of weird demon noises, and like fully 10 seconds of him not screaming, but like in pain.
Yeah. We get some like close-ups on the side of his eyes.
Oh yeah. So yeah, back on the ship, they have a new problem. So there are now 5 people left alive out of the crew of 8. And because they weren't able to recover any oxygen, any supplies, like nothing from the Icarus I, they just escaped and lost 2 people in the process. Their only hope is to go with Corey's plan. And Corey's original plan, if you'll remember, was kill until there are only 4 people left. And only then will there be enough O2 to actually get the job done.
Oh no, get the job done and leave.
Yeah. Notably, again, she does not volunteer herself. She is the botanist who has no plants, and she repeatedly refers to other people as breathers. Her idea is to murder Trey. Trey, who has been, like, severely doped up this entire time.
Oh yeah, they mentioned that during the, like, post-explosion.
Yeah, they think that he blew the airlock.
Yeah, meanwhile, the dude has had enough ketamine pumped into his system where his legs don't work anymore, and he's sleeping for 23 hours a day.
It's because they know that the airlock was released manually, and they know that Corey and Cassie were on the bridge, they like, deduce that Trey was the one to fire the airlock and get Searle and Harvey killed. Even though he has not left his bed.
Another plot point here, they have cameras everywhere.
They could check. But regardless, like, while Kappa and Cassie, so Corey and Mace are pretty clear on, like, no, we have to do this. When Kappa and Cassie kind of, like, confront them, they both pretty quickly fold on, like, yeah, no, I know he couldn't have blown the airlock. I know that was something else.
But something happened.
He's just the one that we have decided to kill.
Yeah, they're just shifting all of the blame onto him like a sin eater, and then they're going to have someone, take care of it.
And anytime any of these big decisions come up, Mace, Captain America, he always goes like, we're going to have a vote. We're going to have a vote. And this time they have a vote, and it winds up 2-2, so they can't do anything. And so he sits there for like 3 seconds, and then just goes, I'm going to go do it. Stands up.
But what happens in the next, like, 5 to 10 minutes pisses me off so much.
Yeah.
I liked this scene because it made me think, like, there wasn't a point to holding a vote. It was necessary to do. And so it's sort of like a character weakness on his part to be like, oh, we have to vote on it because, like, and the thought that I had was like, do you feel that holding a vote and making it a democratic decision
okay.
that everyone has to decide on? Do you think that absolves you of the guilt of having to do it?
It's
because
shared.
It was it's a collective burden rather than I made the decision executively to do this and I bear all the consequences because of it. Like, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. And when the vote doesn't go his way, he's confronted with that, and then he has to just go like, well, fuck it. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do what has to be done.
Right, because at the end of the day, like, they still have a problem that they need to solve, and holding a vote to decide whether or not the thing that they have to do was the right thing to do or not, like,
yeah.
The reality of the situation is still there. Like, they still have a problem. Like,
Cassie kind of relents, and she says, I hate you, but make it easy for him. At least let him die quickly and painlessly. And Mace does not. His plan is not to do that. He goes to the infirmary, and he pulls out a scalpel. There's like a bunch of shadow boarded. There's a bin of scalpels.
The fucking
Notably,
power scalpel.
One of them is already missing, and he picks one out. He doesn't question why one of the scalpels is missing, and he hits a button on it, and it's a fucking chain scalpel. This is a scalpel with a chainsaw blade on it, like it's out of 40K.
I thought it was just vibrating, but either way,
Possibly,
I thought it was also vibrating.
Still, they've got the power scalpel ready to go.
Like, that was the thing I was thinking about Quinn, was like, why are we going with, like, physical violence if he's hooked up to the fucking morphine drip? Just overdose him. Like,
okay, the dude's, like I said, he's on enough ketamine, his legs don't work. It's like just a little twist that dial and he's just drifting off.
Yeah.
He's already gone. Don't worry about it. You have achieved your goal and you have not caused trauma, but no, instead we're going to just get right to face shanking.
In hindsight, that wouldn't have worked because Trey is not on his bed. He is not hooked up to his drugs anymore. He is inside the Earth room. He is dead and he has cut wrists. In the movie, this is treated as a suicide, and certainly like throughout the story after his initial fuck up, everyone thinks that he needs to be sedated or he's going to kill himself because he textually blames himself for everything, even though it was Kappa's decision to make the change and even though the entire crew like went along with this. But at the same time, as we're going to find out, maybe it was someone else. We don't know. To the rest of the crew, though, this kind of solves their problem. Both Mace and Corey are just kind of like, oh, well, I guess Mace even says that he did the right thing, which is very fucked up. After being like the cool pragmatist who isn't a hypocrite, Mace takes a very hard turn into like, oh no, he's just back to being evil and an asshole again.
He took responsibility for his actions.
Yes, that's what he says, and that is so fucked up.
And I hate this so much because then he starts laying into Kappa. Like, dude, you were just about ready to go in here and just fillet him.
Like, yeah, you do not get to take the moral high ground. You are the guy who went against the crew vote and decided to murder someone.
Just because serendipity happened, we didn't walk into you just blasting him across the neck with a knife doesn't mean you're good.
Like, even though they all hate each other at this point, the decision among the crew is basically like, well, fuck, I guess we just continue with our mission. This is too important for us to, like, start murdering each other or to, I don't know, cut Corey's neck because she's awful and I hate her.
Yeah, get another breeder out of the equation. It solves the problem.
Michelle Yeoh, you are so good at playing hateable characters. That speaks nothing about your personality. You are just such a good actor.
Yeah, that speaks to your talent.
Unfortunately, though, they find out there is a problem. And the problem they find out is it's revealed in the dumbest way possible. While Kappa is working on his bomb, the AI just kind of tells him, like, you know you're gonna die, right? You know this isn't gonna work. And he asks the AI what it's talking about, and he says, there's too many people. You're gonna run out of air. It is through this. The AI does not have an intruder alert. It does not have any kind of thing that says, hey, someone is on here who is not supposed to be here.
And it argues with him too.
Yeah, the only way that Kappa finds out that there is an intruder on board the spacecraft is whenever he does math games with the AI for a minute and gets it to say, there are 5 people, not 4. And it's fucking Pinbacker. It is the captain of the Icarus I. He is covered in third-degree burns, even though we never actually see him.
Yeah, he's Mark Strong. But like,
he is.
But I don't know. Like, it's just so funny to see him because he looks like a crispy chicken tender, and like it's still like Mark Strong, and like he's jacked, and like he's like the epitome of like the Golden Sun Warrior, except he's just extra crispy.
Yeah.
Like, because the thing I loved about him is like he's been living on Icarus I for all these years in that overgrown jungle of a botany room, and it's just like I have the like evocative image of like prime man, like the unga bunga prime soul of humanity, because he's just like, again, he's like fucking completely naked and he's shredded, but he's also made of chicken, and like
that, in some of the deleted scenes I saw, he's wearing pants. They have some of the scenes where they haven't applied the wibbly wobbly effect, so you can actually see him.
No, he's just rocking with it out constantly.
Because again, like I don't know. To me, it was like evocative of like the Voyager disc or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
if
it's
the
humanity.
Voyager disc just had Mark Strong and another Mark Strong on it.
Yeah, it's just that here's the nude human figure in its most natural form, and I don't know.
It just looks like a deep fried chicken tender.
He's become the sun's strongest warrior, and again, like the weird lens distortion stuff on him. I just thought that maybe the sun mutated him, and so now he's the sun's warrior. And
so we did have that debate of whether or not, like, is he actually an X-Men mutant, or is he just horribly burned? And another thing I will note, so basically Kappa, he asks the computer and he finds Pinbacker lying down in the Icarus II observation lounge with, like, I don't know, 20% sunlight. It is brighter than we have ever seen it, but it's not killing anyone. Pinbacker is just lying down, and every single scene with Pinbacker, the reason why I joke that I don't know if it's Mark Strong is because he has like the amnesia blur effect on him.
All you can see is like an eye, that's it.
Yeah, we never get a clear view. We never get an, like, every single shot with him is either, like, just a little bit of his eye, a bit of his mouth, or it's got so much lens flare, or it has so much blur. Like, you never get a clear picture of this actor, of Pinbacker.
Which is really unfortunate, because it's Mark Strong.
Why would you put Mark Strong in the movie if I never get to, like, the only time we get to see Mark Strong unfucked up is way back at the start.
Like, I love the idea of, like, what if we put, like, this in, like,
really famous
what if we took
dude.
this incredibly beautiful guy, and then you never get to see him,
and you don't even get to see, like, their practical effects. You don't get to see the makeup. I'm sure. Fuck, imagine being Mark Strong or the makeup artist who inevitably, like, every day before shooting, they had to spend so many hours fucking up Mark Strong, and then finding out that we never see any of it.
Just going into the cinema and just straight facing as soon as you see your work has been just blurred.
It's just all blurred. It's all censored. You don't get to see.
Well, again, like, Quinn, it makes me think about, again, it gets the team task divvying up stuff. But imagine being like one of the people who's working on, like, a model.
Yeah.
And then being told, like, oh, your thing's being pulled. It's not going to be in here. So, like, all of the hours that you put into, like, texturing or rigging or sculpting a model, and then it just gets pulled, and that goes into the bin of this is an extra or cut content material.
Yeah, like, no, I'm sorry. The Pinbacker sex scene, they cut it. So
like,
just.
Well, I mean, Quinn. I mean, like, think about it. Just like the idea that you've been working on something
I'm not mocking
and, like,
that. Yeah,
putting yourself into it for months, and then it's just like, oh, we're not going to use it. So, like, literally everything that you just did over the last 4 months was completely pointless. I don't know. It just hurts.
So yeah, Kappa finds Pinbacker, and Pinbacker kind of lays out his manifesto. And this is a bit of a longer drop, but I do want to put it in just because I think it does a good job of showing where Pinbacker is at.
At the end of time, a moment will come when just one man remains. Then the moment will pass. Man will be gone. There will be nothing to show that we were ever here. But stardust. The last man, alone with God.
Also, can we talk about how they gave him the, like, that flanging on his voice?
Oh, yeah. I was also going to point out that I don't think his burns are scars. I think they're fresh, or at least they've been, like, maintained, because he's lying on the ground, and throughout that scene, whenever he moves, you hear some wet sticking sounds. You know, whenever he's running, like, the soles of his feet are scorched, he's making some squelchy noises as he runs.
Yeah, he's got the squelchy foot slaps going.
Yeah. Notably, because his hands are so burned, he also leaves bloody handprints everywhere.
Also, can we talk about the fuck up on Kappa's part of just not immediately saying, hey guys?
Yeah, he goes to confront Pinbacker alone. He knows where the intruder is. He does not bring mace.
Like, as soon as he's worked it out in the payload room, not immediately going, let me get the guy who's just ready to fillet someone to have my back.
Instead, he approaches him slowly, and he gets within stabbing range. Pinbacker the entire time is basically delivering his manifesto, and his manifesto is very clearly, I'm going to kill everyone. If anyone gets within stabbing range, I'm going to stab him because the sun is God. And Kappa is wandering up like, whoa, what's going on?
In Kappa's defense, Quinn, I was equally, like, delirious by this point. And if I were a character and stuff was happening to me for real in my own perspective, over the last, like, 8 hours, half the people that I've spent the last X amount of time with just died horribly. Like, like, the mental state's not all there. And, like,
I do want to bring this up. We chatted about it a bit before, but you are not the only person who was put into kind of like a weird mental state by this movie, or at least had an epiphany from it, because Cillian Murphy, who plays Kappa, he said that working on this movie made him an atheist, which I love. In fair, like, before he'd been an agnostic, but something about working on this movie was just like, yeah, no shot, 0%.
Yeah, having to hear the line "the last man alone with God." That was apparently enough.
That is an incredible line, though. I love that line, and I love how Mark Strong delivers it, even if he's doing a deeply non-Mark Strong voice. He's got, kind of like an Eastern European accent going.
Do you think that it's a good quality for an actor to have if you couldn't tell who they were?
I think there are a lot of things. I think there are a lot of things that go into it. You know, like you can hear an actor and know it's them.
Anti-typecast, right? Like, to not be able to immediately identify an actor, like, because it goes both ways. Like, to be able to immediately identify an actor is a good thing, but also like not being able to immediately identify an actor should also be a good thing, because like,
and then now that I'm thinking about it, a lot of actors do get to the point where they're famous, but then they can't act anymore. You know, like I'm thinking of Mark Wahlberg, who has never acted as a character other than the one that he always plays. Yeah, he's just himself. And I guess Chris Evans kind of to that point, because Mace kind of feels like a lot of Chris Evans' heroes. I guess Captain America is more noble and not as pragmatic. But
this is a really good point to bring up, because I had been watching this week with some friends the newer Jurassic Park movies.
Oh,
like,
Gal
just all
Gadot not being able to act.
And getting to the most recent one, which may as well just be AI slop.
Hell yeah.
I've never felt so disgusted watching a movie. Like it is just slop in like the purest terms. And like, again, like you have some kind of like big actor faces in there, and it's just kind of like, wow.
Everyone's just going through the motions.
Everyone's going through the motions, but like it just feels so like not natural. I don't know. But my point being is like, you know, again, like this is the people that have become like so famous and they just don't act anymore. And like, it's not acting and they aren't likable and the writing sucks. And
which, like, say what you will about Sunshine 2007, especially as it was like one of a spate of like weird save the world apocalypse, you know, like movies that all came out around this same time. I don't think any of the, like, I cannot think of an actor here that was not acting well and having fun with it. Like this movie does feel like it has heart, which I don't think a lot of modern movies can say, or at least like the really big AAA ones.
Yeah, like, again, like AAA movies today, like a lot of the times I'm left with this feeling of it's formulaic. Like,
yeah.
Like there's, I'm not grabbed by the music. I'm not grabbed by the dialogue writing. Like, I'm not grabbed by the characters because like they just say canned phrases and it's not organic at all. And
there's nothing genuine about it.
Exactly.
And yeah, like this movie just shows like what you can get with, you know, like the script I think goes in weird ways, but like Mark Strong plays, you know, like maybe I don't like Pinbacker showing up to be the Act 3 slasher, but Mark Strong plays a very good insane dude who thinks he's communing with God. Again, if that's him, I have no confirmation that is actually Mark Strong in that makeup. But yeah, he slashes Kappa. Kappa escapes. As he escapes, he turns on, he shouts Icarus, like lower the filter or something. He dives around the corner as the filter goes to 100% and presumably burns Pinbacker. But it doesn't. Pinbacker survives.
Yeah, because he's the sun's strongest warrior. Yeah. The sun wouldn't destroy its own champion.
He is being ridden by just the soul of Soul.
Okay, I get that. So yeah, Pinbacker, he escapes. He manages to lock Kappa in an airlock, and then he goes on a murder spree, effectively. He sabotages the AI, he makes it into the AI room, and he raises all of the computers from the coolant. This is also how he sabotaged Icarus I. What?
He locked him in another airlock. So there is more than one airlock on the ship.
There is.
So why didn't they just dock on the other airlock with the other airlock?
I think what they said is that by doing the undocking, they damaged the Icarus I airlock so that it couldn't redock.
But it also has another airlock.
Which Icarus I would also have another one, yes. I don't know.
Too much motion.
So yeah, he sabotages Icarus II the same way he did the Icarus I. He effectively kills the AI. As Corey is kind of looking around in, around in her garden, and she finds a single plant that has survived.
This is the ending she deserves.
And then she gets stabbed in the back.
No, this is I'm telling you, this is the ending she deserves after being such a prick for so long. Yes, my plants are coming back. Just getting immediately stabbed. Fuck you.
It's vegetarians versus carnivores, and the man made of meat just killed the vegetarian.
Yeah, she didn't hear his feet slapping up to her.
Oh yes, all of his skin sticking to all the rest of his skin.
Like the dude is. You could probably smell him, just the amount of
dude. He must be putting out like liters of pus every second.
Not only is he being ridden by the soulless soul, but he's also got some nurgle going on.
No, that's what that's what I'm saying. Like, this dude is like crispy. This dude is literally turned into jerky.
Are you saying he's a chicken nugget that you forget in the air fryer?
His lifespan is measured in minutes.
Yeah,
like,
he's gonna make it count.
He could not be normal. Like, something. He like, again, like, that's why I'm like, is he like a mutant?
Does
because
he have
like
superpowers?
There's no way a normal person, even if they were clinically insane, would be alive.
To withstand the pain even.
He's just built that different.
But yeah, he stabs and kills the botanist, and then he starts chasing Cassie, our pilot, around the spacecraft. Meanwhile, Kappa is able to contact Mace. Mace basically tells him, like, hey, you need to get in a suit, and then maybe blast your way out, the same way we did before. Kappa also gets Mace up to speed, and he basically... Pinbacker wants to stop the mission because God told him that humanity must ascend to heaven. That is his goal. He thinks the sun is God, and he wants to be the last human, and then all of humanity is going to freeze their way to heaven. And Mace is trying to fix the mainframe, and I also really liked these scenes. Like, the whole Act 3 slasher thing, it gets a lot of flack, but mixed in, there are a lot of very good scenes. And this is where this Chekhov's gun comes back. I thought they were going to use it to kill Pinbacker. I thought they were going to throw him into the super cooled tank, because then, like, the heat of the sun is his element, so the cold of the coolant kills him. No. Instead, we get several minutes of brutal scenes and very good acting from Chris Evans, he has to go diving into these coolant tanks. Like, fully immersing
Did we
himself.
mention that, like, Pinbacker was attempting to break the computer on Icarus II the same way he busted up the one on Icarus I?
He raises them out of the coolant, which kind of knocks the AI out offline. And the only way to reactivate them and to lower them into the coolant is manually from inside the coolant tank.
But shitty design, if I say.
Yeah, and I know he's used to playing, like, the tough guy stuff. But I do like how Chris Evans acted this. Like, he has no hesitation. Mace he doesn't work himself up. He just gets in the coolant. He just slips right in
about it.
But he doesn't do, like, you hear him basically screaming underwater. Like, he is in agony in this. And I like how that's characterized. He's not someone who's too tough to feel pain, but he still believes in the mission so much that he does not hesitate. So he does this 3 times. He brings down 3 of the computers, and unfortunately on the last one, a mechanism crushes his leg. So he is not able to get fully out of the water, and he's like he's fully frozen at this point. Like, his hair is frozen. This coolant is, I keep saying super cooled, but we've seen earlier in the movie that, like, him dipping his hand in for half a second was enough to, like, cause him a lot of pain. So he's fully dying from this, and he's stuck. He gets over the radio, and he tells Kappa, you need to vent the entire ship. The only way to stop Pinbacker is you need to get in a spacesuit, and you need to just vent the entire ship so that you can come in. Cora is already dead. Cassie is somewhere at this point. And Mace is basically saying, like, yeah, I'm going to die of, like, hypothermia before the O2 gets me. And again, like, I may just like certain characters, but Mace is, like, freezing alive and desperately telling Kappa, like, you need to get this done. You need to save the Earth. Not to even, like, try and save him. Kappa says he's going to come for him. Mace says, like, yeah, don't bother. So he dutifully vents the airlock the exact same way they did to get from Icarus I to Icarus II. Except he holds on because he's going to go back through the ship. And we see all of this debris go flying out. And I liked this. We see Corey's corpse, the botanist. She also comes ricocheting down a hallway and blasts off into space.
It is.
It's not dwelled on. It's just like, oh, hey, she's gone.
It shouldn't be as funny as it is, but still.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't get to see her go poof.
He also tried to like make a little vent hole that was nowhere near enough.
Yeah.
Just, there you go. That's it. That's all we need, right?
The way to do it is, like all or nothing.
Also, wouldn't this kind of throw the station off?
Yes. Yeah, it would. Which is what happened with Icarus I. But yeah, he still has time. What he is going to do, he is walking in this spacesuit. And it's very difficult because the spacesuit is like incredibly heavy. He has to walk his way through the spacecraft to get to the bomb. And he's basically going to ride it all the way down. He's going to Dr. Strangelove the sun.
If only he had the same amount of fun the Strangelove had when, he got to do his way out.
And again, I like this scene. He's like screaming inside of his suit. You don't hear a lot of it, but you can see like they've got the camera right in his face, and he is like screaming in rage after he sets a 4-minute timer. So he sets a 4-minute timer.
A 4-minute timer on the ignition of the
bomb, all of the warhead.
Rockets on the front.
Yeah. In a normal mission, the Icarus and the bomb would separate, and the Icarus would have 4 minutes to get away. But he has to activate that, and he now has 4 minutes to get to the bomb. And he's like walking through these hallways, these airless hallways. He sees Mace's corpse, and it's like, the good song is playing, the really good dramatic song is playing. We're getting these flashbacks to like Kappa's earlier life. He's talking with his sister, and they both have these nightmares about the surface of the sun. And now he's going to live that out. He is going to ride this bomb into the sun to certain death and hopefully save the world. And he makes it. He jumps out, like the two sections disconnect, the Icarus and the bomb, and he dives across the gap, getting some like decent sunlight, some like burning sunlight in the meantime, and he makes it into the bomb. Just as the rockets ignite, the Icarus II behind them kind of like spins out of control and gets destroyed in the sunlight as this bomb goes hurtling off under rocket power into, basically they describe the sun as having a Death Star hole, like a maintenance port. There's like a hole in the sun at the southern pole, and if you fly into it, you can reach the surface of the sun. So yeah, things are breaking down now that we're at the end of the movie, kind of. Notably, Cassie is already inside. She has made it into the bomb. Pinbacker basically chased her in there, and she is just sitting on the payload. And this is where we find out that the payload is the cube from 1997.
Hit movie from Canada.
It is just a big nondescript black cube, or it's made up of a bunch of nondescript black cubes, kind of floating in the middle of this payload container.
I mean, image is somewhat evocative of like the
nuclear
reactor control rod.
It does feel reactor hall-ish.
Square thingies.
It definitely does, and especially there's an inside area with a catwalk. It definitely feels like it should be inside of a nuclear reactor. So yeah, Kappa finds Cassie again, and then they are immediately attacked by Pinbacker, who also made it into the payload.
Surprise fucker, I'm back.
And as they're flying into the sun, this is like, there is technically an explanation for it, but it's mostly just so the movie can happen. The shield on the payload and the rockets and all of that, they burn away quickly. So now the only thing falling into the sun is this cube. And there is a smaller cube inside that they are on. That is what the bomb is.
That's the initiator.
And because it's all spinning around all over the place, that means that gravity can work however we want it to. So Pinbacker finds Kappa, he monologues at him a little bit, and he dangles him over the edge of the cube. And he's about to drop him until Cassie attacks. She kind of tries to tackle Pinbacker, but then she misses and just winds up grabbing onto Kappa instead, so that Pinbacker is holding them both.
What happens next? Is probably fortunate for her that she missed him.
And again, his plan was to drop Kappa to his death, and then for some reason, instead of dropping both of them and solving all of his problems, he holds on to them with one hand, and then he his arm.
He falls out his own skin.
He degloves himself. It's disgusting. This is the only time we ever see any of the Mark Strong stuff in detail. They don't blur this. From the elbow down, all of his burnt fucking skin just comes right off of his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, this is...
It's his defense mechanism.
Yeah.
It's very evocative of if you've ever had a chicken tender and you bit the crispy skin off, but just the skin came off and you are left with tender that was naked. It's just like that.
I was looking at different interviews and they were talking about like the themes of worship and whatnot. But I love that we've dug down to the real message of this, of just like, yo, Pinbacker, this is his sin. He was the guy who ate all of the skin off the chicken.
Mark Strong is a chicken nugget, and at the end of the day, he fell out of his skin.
Yeah, like we get a flashback to young Mark Strong eating the skin off of the KFC and then putting the wing back in the bowl.
Completed.
Pinbacker, the kind of friend to go with you to Costco, buy a rotisserie chicken, and eat all of the skin off of it, and then give you the rest.
Oh God, I wonder if that's how he's feeding himself.
Listen, we all know that degloving, it's a defense mechanism. You can't get him in a hold. He'll just slip out of his skin.
It does not appear to cause him pain, and he does not seem to react outside of mild annoyance. So maybe it just. Like, maybe he's just walking around the Icarus I on a normal day. He's happy. He's with God. And then he, like, hits an edge a little weird and his entire skin just falls off.
And then he has then he has chicken skin.
Damn it, just turns around, heads for the observation room again. Like, God, it happened.
You gotta crisp me up again.
Give me another round. Oh, God. It would be actually funnier if, like, Pinbacker was smaller because he's like a jawbreaker. He's just lost so much skin that he is physically smaller now. They've just cut away the layers.
No, they should have just like let him bake it on like armor. Like, dude rocks up looking like a beetle, just completely encased.
So after Pinbacker gets degloved, Kappa and Cassie are falling down, presumably to their deaths, but gravity shifts again. So now they're on the floor, so they're fine. We don't see what happens with Pinbacker. He does not pursue them.
Yeah, because God said he couldn't have skin if he pursues them.
I guess you could presumably say because of the gravity shifting that he would now be on the side and falling to his death, but I don't think that's what they're saying. So, leaving Cassie behind, Kappa goes off to light his bomb. He makes it to the interior. There's a catwalk. He pulls out his laptop. We often see him working in this area. We get this pretty nice test demonstration earlier in the movie. Basically, the way this works is it's not an explosion. Instead of feeding an explosion into the sun, their plan is to start a mini sun inside of the sun. Like, this is going to be a separate star that is going to help power the sun instead of they're not going to merge the way this is presented. Kappa describes it as a new Big Bang in small scale.
This is once again an example where like the science doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, we spent all our science budget on like knowing how O2 gardens work.
But this is also we're at the end of the movie. So I'm also at the point where I'm like, I'm just suspending completely. I'm just completely suspending belief because like that's not the important part of what this story is telling.
I have no more nitpicks to give. I'm just at the point where like, all right, let's do it. Let's see this.
Let's see this horrific thing through.
And you throughout have compared this to Interstellar. And for me, this was kind of an Interstellar-y kind of ending where just like, all right, fuck it. Why the hell not? Because Kappa sets off his bomb and we start seeing all these tiny little motes of light, these tiny mini stars appearing all around him. And he's so happy his device is working. He did not know if this was going to work before. And then as the bomb plunges into the photosphere, effectively the surface of the sun burns through the side of the bomb, this like wall of not just sun, but like plasma, the surface of the sun, the stuff of the sun, not just the light.
Yeah.
It plows through the bomb and it stops inches from his face.
You see, what I like to think happened here is that the sun god finally chose to reveal himself, say, yes, I am here.
And I've seen different people say different things like, oh, this is just like a little like theatrical flourish to send off a character. Like, no, he actually just died when the bomb went off, which I think would have happened. But instead, we get this 30-second scene of him like smiling at the sun, reaching out his hand and kind of like petting it.
Well, I mean, because like this is sort of going back to like he was describing like, you know, it will be beautiful. And, you know, gets like it's the fact like, oh God, so many thoughts. He is alone.
He's the last man alone with God.
He is the last man at one with God. He is alone. He is all that's left of the crew, and like he is here at like the moment of creation. Like
he is the god of this new little Big Bang that he has kicked off.
Exactly. And then he's going to be gone because it's going to destroy him. And so like, but in that moment, right? Like, and then like this is why I'm like, okay, I'm suspending all belief at this point because that's not important. It's about capturing the feeling of being in that moment of creation. Yeah. Like, imagine if you were there at the moment the universe was created, how special that would be.
Has anyone ever postulated or like seriously theologically looked at the idea that a god kicked off the Big Bang and was killed in the process? That, you know, like the Big Bang went so fast that it was a moment of sacrifice in creation. Because that seems like that's what Kappa's doing.
He's getting his infinitesimally short time drawn out for eternity.
Yeah. And they do also make a point in the movie, whenever they're doing the calculations earlier, I don't think this is actually what happens textually in the movie, but Kappa basically says, like, once you're in the sun, the speed and the mass, time and space are just going to get smeared everywhere, so we have no clue what's going to happen. So I've seen other people saying that, like, no, this actually happened to Kappa. Space and time just became so distorted that he was able to pet the sun.
I wasn't thinking about that at the time. There's a lot of things I was not thinking about at this time, but the way that I thought of it was that like it's the force of his bomb counteracting the sun from just engulfing him.
Oh, like it's
which to my brain was
forces.
Like, oh, it's working.
Yeah.
It's not that it's evil, it's just that it's the inherent forces involved. Equal, excuse me, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I don't know, like I just saw it and my brain was like, oh, well, this just means it's working. And like that's just, I don't know, that was kind of it at that point.
So we get another thing that we love to have in this movie, which is a close-up of a person staring at the sun, and Kappa, he smiles as like the radiance of the sun grows around him, and then we fade to white. And back on Earth, Sydney is frozen over, Sydney, Australia. Kappa's sister is watching the video from him, where he basically like gives his goodbyes. Among other things, that video was addressed to his parents whenever he recorded it, but oh well.
You don't think that his parents would give it to his sister too?
No, that they would have provided it, but the movie definitely plays it like we never see or hear from Kappa's parents. The only family we're ever presented is his sister. His sister, who is Australian, or I guess has a bit of a British accent. I don't know. It's in.
But she could have moved, Quinn. That's a thing people can do.
Yeah, but like picking up the accent. Oh well. And we see the sun shining, which I guess means that it worked. We don't see a before and after. We don't see the sun before and then after to see that it is more, but you know, it's a nice day. And Kappa says in his message, if you ever look up and see the sun, that means it worked. And they see the sun. So it worked.
Quinn, I love how you always have the knack for being incredibly reductive to the language that's ever used in anything.
Yeah, you look up at the sun, you'll know it worked.
You'll know.
No, that is definitely not. In his message, what he says, I'm like paraphrasing, but I'm not reducing here.
No,
if you wake up in the morning, if you wake up in the morning and it's a particularly nice day, then you'll know we've done it. That is what he says.
The implication being, Quinn, that the sun, which has been dimming, will be a little brighter and more normal. Yeah. The day will be quantifiably nicer than before.
Yes, and I get that. And my point is that is not well communicated in this movie. Because the sun looks like the sun.
And this is probably the differentiation between our brain types, Quinn. Yeah. And that's why you make parachutes and I don't.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I wanted Professor Brian Cox to come on screen and describe exactly how many lumens.
Quinn, I love your engineer brain. I love how you'll be like... I love how you'll be presented with like a philosophical conundrum and you'll be sitting there like sitting on your knuckles and you're like, I don't get I don't get it.
Well, okay, like, in that vein, I thought of something of like how it would solve my problem, but at the same time make for a shitty movie of Kappa dies. We see Kappa smiling and we fade to white, and then it stays at the white screen for a couple of seconds. and then it fades back into an Excel spreadsheet showing the lumens of the sun per day, and it slowly ramps up a little bit. And that would be like,
Amazing.
He's done it.
It'd be funnier if the sun just went out.
Yeah, if it was just like, it's a black hole now.
Guys, we turned off the sun. What the fuck do we do now?
Like it cuts back to Earth, and then just the sun is gone, and then everything just gets like pulled into a black hole in half a second. All right. No sunshine too, everybody.
Still just the
I love Quinn. I just love it. It's like the idea, like you have this final scene that gets a little brighter, like the sun is shining a little brighter, and you're just staring at it like, I don't get it.
I get it. But the problem is we don't see the sun shining brighter. We just see the sun. And I know, like, you can infer it worked. But, like, I don't know. Give me some payoff. Give me, like, mega sun.
When you look at the sun and it be sunning. No, Quinn, what you've just done is suggest that we're going to create fucking Arrakis from Dune on Earth now. Now that the sun has been, like, turbocharged.
Yeah, we've opposited our problem. Now we have too much sun.
Now we have to send more of them out there. We have to send Icarus 3 and 4.
We have to detonate the anti-sun bomb.
We have to find the weirdest Serbian man we can to lead Icarus 3.
No, I mean you'd have to send him last. Like there can never be another mission. There won't have to be another mission.
Every mission, because
there's no force in this universe more powerful. Like nothing that exerts anything upon this universe that is greater than Serbian nationalism.
But like, every mission needs to have one, because Searle was on his way to becoming a pinbacker. He was like midway down the mutation track.
Chris, there is one potential thing that could serve as a counterbalance, and that is a disciple of the Celestial Moon Turk.
The only thing to counterbalance.
We must balance the scales once and for all. The sun be too bright. Send them in.
But yeah, guys, that is 2007's Sunshine. How are we all feeling?
Great.
I started off this review shitting on it, but further reflection, yeah, this was entertaining.
It got us talking, which is more than a lot of... It's not a stuff happening movie either.
I don't know if I was primed to like it more because, Quinn, you had previously talked about this movie and how you liked it, and so I'm like, oh, well, if Quinn likes it, then...
I gotta start doing that with the bad movies then.
Well, just gaslighting Chris into liking it?
Yeah, like forcing him to watch a shitty movie while also, like, in his head, he's like, I have to like it. I have to like it.
Well, I mean, it's not that I'm gritting my teeth being like, I have to like it, God damn it. It's like, Quinn sees a redeeming element of this, and so therefore I will try harder to not hate on it and see what Quinn sees. I see many redeeming,
like, you know, the soundtrack is incredible, and I see it come up all the time in like different videos and games and all like trailers for stuff. I hadn't realized that a fan pointed this out. The Kerbal Space Program Build Dream Fly trailer, which was like legitimately inspiring to me whenever I was a kid, integrates this soundtrack as well. This is like a really big part of a lot of sci-fi drama sound. The cast is stacked beyond belief, even if a lot of them were already like top of the line actors, and a lot of them since have become even more famous, you know, like Chris Evans, Benedict Wong. I think I called him Bruce Wong at some point in the story, which I apologize for. Cillian Murphy. Like, the cast is great. They all act very well. They all definitely put like a good effort into this movie. None of them were just there for a paycheck. The plot is pretty good right up until, I'd say like the last 30 minutes or so. And even then, like, you know, I don't agree that making Mark Strong a slasher at the end would have been the best way forward, but he does a good job of it. Like they do a decent slasher story. So yeah, I see a lot of redeeming features in this movie.
So I think I mentioned it, like the effect they put on his voice. It really does sell that, yeah, something's not right here.
Yeah.
Despite what we've already seen, it just drives that even further home.
There's some like otherworldliness going on. And maybe you're right, Chris. Maybe he is a mutant. Like he just actually has superpowers.
Well, yeah, I mean, like his skin, by all measure, should be sloughing off.
Well,
like,
it did, in fairness, partially.
Not until enough, it was acted upon by an outside force.
And 2 people's worth of mass, yeah.
Which is to say 2 people's worth of mass.
But at the end of the day, he still fell out of his skin. We can't question that. It's right there.
Yeah. If for the rest of the movie, Kappa just had like his arm, arm skin, just like a scarf around his neck.
Oh, he could use it like a glove.
Oh.
Let me just slide right in there.
No.
If this were a stupid movie, then it would be, they would be doing the coolant kill thing, but would still have to fix the.
Also, the coolant kill wouldn't
computer.
kill him. That would be his fake out death.
It would. Well,
no,
yeah, it would let Pinebacker do a fake death. Pinbacker. It would let Pinbacker do a fake death so that he could come do a more dramatic one afterward, but we would still have the arm skin, so we would have to put the arm skin on to reach in to turn the wrench or whatever.
Okay, that would work.
Something stupid like that,
if you slide into his skin and punch him, is that he just double damage?
If you wear his skin, are you immune to the sun?
Yes. At least whatever part of the skin that you're wearing.
But yeah, patrons, we hope you have had fun with this one, as much fun as we have had. This was recommended by patrons like yourselves, so if you want any more dumb, weird, or even good sci-fi movies reviewed on this show, let us know. Let us know through Patreon, through the Discord, however you can reach us. This has been fun. This has been an episode. We have been Failure to Launch. I've been Goodbye.
Goodbye, and may soul protect you.
Mark Strong be with you.
Where's the Mark Strong glove?
Oh God, that's in the prop department somewhere. Someone has the Mark Strong pinbacker glove sitting on their mantle. I wonder. I swear, if he goes to like a Comic-Con dressed up as Pinbacker,
you want to go shake his hand so you can steal his arm
I can
skin?
pull his hand off.
I'm just running away, just flailing it above your head. By God, I am him.
I got it. Run outside into the parking lot, immediately vaporized by the sun.
Thank you to everyone who has signed up to support the show, and a big shout out to all of our top tier patrons. Our cyborg cats are Asha Rin, Boss, Katiga Reptile, Charlie, Comrade Sleepy Bro, Daniel F, Graham E, Jesselyn T, George 2, One Small Step for Stretch Armstrong, Joss, Kamo, Lane of the Wired, Matt, Mobius Striptease, Murray Motorsports, Mysterious Stranger, Oil Drum, Pat, Paul C, Rare Sprungle Spingus 3rd Edition, Skylab Bricks, Number Negative, so I can just type anything into this box and you'll just say it. Source Force, Spectre Cohen, Tortilla Baron, Vivek D, and Wingsmith. Our space dogs are Redacted, Your Local Ice Thug, It's a Safe and Legal Thrill, A Union Thug, A. Blinken, Akiogo, Ariel Badger Release, Agent Carter, Alex, Alice N, Andrew F, Andrew K, Angie, Angry Old Man Yada Yada, Anthony C, Atomic Hobbit, Otto Fox, Avocado Assassin, Baron M, Bat They, Ben L, Big Meg, Binary Badger, Beanie, Boomzilla, Brian L, C, Cantaloupe Was Taken, Carson D, Chainsaw Snuggling, Charlotte M, Chris K, Christian K, Clay M, Cole C, Cowpoke Comet, Captain Lag, Daddy Bongo, Daniel, Darth Baby, Does Smiley, Dom K, Drain Bandage, Dr. Shockmaster, Duke of New York, Ank, Aaron, Eric J, FBH, Fractal Moonlight, Furious Luddite, George B, Grant K, Griffin, former snow shoveler of Burger King, Heiko S, Howl's Moving Pictures by Rush. I hope you have a good day. Ian R, Iggy Noranis, Iln N, JMM, James A, James C, James H, James T, Jamie K, Jarl Breadbaker, Jerry M, Jedediah D, John C, John Boy D, Jonathan G, Jonathan W, Johntastic 20x6, Joseph RH, Josh C, Juan, Just Morse, Kate D, King Bun, Clea Chichka, Corbin the Dog, Cruzzy, Lenswipe, Lorgath, Luke O, Majestic Affect, Mar, Marigold Muskrat, Marto, Mecha Girl A, Michael C, Mish, Mr. Dr. John, Lumen Instrumentality Project, Narrow Ebb, Nelly W, New Name, Nicholas S, Nick, Nick S., Norman W., Northeast Driver, NSFW NSA, Outlook Cub, Panda, Patron, Peyton, Poopbutt, Randall, Ray H., RBK, Rayco B., Riley, Robert G., Sailor of Fortune, Scott K., Sean F., Sean H., Sensual Kazoo, Sean P., Silly Dixon, Something, Sparks, Spirit of Thunder, Swanee, The Best Sean, Thomas M., Tim P., Toasty Ken, Trash Do, Darash D., Brisk, Will W., William O., William P., Winston P., Zachary J.V., Zach, Zemo, Zim, and Zombie Dwarf. Albert Count 206. Thank you for listening to another episode of Failure to Launch. If you want to follow us, we are Failure to Launch on Blue Sky and FT LaunchPod on Instagram. We also post our episodes with visual aids at Failure to Launch Podcast on YouTube. FTL intro and outro themes were provided by DJ Danner.